Hello and welcome back to Pass the Turn. This is a new series that we're going to be putting on the MTG EDH playlist still, so hopefully it does get some traction. But that is Create Your Own Commander Corner. So the first episode is going to be me speaking about a tribal commander that I've created and a deck that I could potentially build for the channel. Obviously, it's down to you as to what your opinions are, how overpowered you think it is. I'd love to know, because I'm just building it from a perspective of this is a deck I would love to use, but it just doesn't have much support. So in this series, we're going to be getting my co-hosts to do it as well, and potentially guests. If any guests want to appear on the show, then by all means send a video in with a commander that you've created, and we can divulge it and speak about it in the comments. Before we go into this, make sure you click the like and subscribe button and click the little bell notification if you want to be notified of any more custom commanders that people like myself or my co-hosts or random people create. We're going to be posting these videos a lot, so the possibilities are endless for stuff like this. But yeah, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and the little bell notification. If you're looking to buy any cards that have actually been created, not actually these ones, make sure you visit our affiliate links in the description box below. Magic Madhouse is a UK provider. They do sealed products, Magic Gathering singles, accessories, all sorts of stuff for your tabletop. You've got Big Orbit cards, a great supplier for cheap singles. Make sure you check their stock regularly. And Total cards as well. Use the discount code Pass the Turn, all in capitals, and you'll get a little bit of money off, and you'll make Total cards aware that you came from this channel. So definitely do that if you're looking to buy any products whatsoever. But let's get straight into Antaraxis, the Swarm Lord. This commander I've built is a Jund commander, and its name is Antaraxis, the Swarm Lord. So any Warhammer 40k fans out there will recognise what this picture is. This is a Swarm Lord from the Tyrannid army. That's the art that I've used for it. It costs 3 generic black, red, green for a legendary creature, Insect Horror. It's a 4/4 and it has double strike and death touch. When it enters the battlefield, create 3 1/1 green insect creature tokens. So it enters and comes in with 3 1/1 green insects. Whenever an insect or a spider enters the battlefield under your control, return target insect or spider from your graveyard to your hand. So it's very, very much on the theme of recurring your swarm and using that swarm constantly, and your enemies not being able to defeat it in the end. It's just going to be a endless fight against the Swarm Lord and his legions, which is the theme that I put behind it. My original iteration of this card was completely OP. This could still be completely OP, but yeah, let me know in the comments. And also, insects and spiders you control get +2, +1. So a nice little anthem effect as well. So my first iteration of this card was pretty ridiculous. It was like double strike, death touch, hexproof. Insects and spiders you control get +2, +2 and have undying, and then whenever a spider or insect enters the battlefield under your control, return to the battlefield instead. So that would have been absolutely outrageous. Would have been loads of infinite combos with that, but I think this one is a little bit more watered down, and it's still really, really powerful. But the reason why it's really powerful is because it's in a tribe that doesn't really have powerful cards. So I think that will balance it out, I think. So yeah, I'll go through the synergies that will and the interactions that you can get from it. So 4/4 double strike death touch. So that's built-in protection. Obviously, I was going to have hexproof on there as well, but that is just OP. Having double strike and death touch will mean that it will trade with most likely anything. Well, it will trade with anything because it's death touch, but it does have a chance of no, scrap that. It trades with anything because it's double strike death touch. So yeah, it will hit anything before that hits it, basically. But look at it, it's got 4 arms. You know, you're not getting anywhere near that Swarm Lord. So it's just like pure adapted to all situations. It can be spot removed, so it can die, it can be exiled, it can be board wiped. It's not completely protected, but it is protected against creature combat, so it can kill anything as long as it doesn't have indestructible. So yeah, that's the form of protection that I had on it. Again, I was going to have like hexproof on there as well, but I think that would be a little bit overkill. The deck that I'd probably run with this would have like your lightning greaves and swiftfoot boots, just to give it haste and hexproof and stuff. So yeah, double strike and death touch I think is enough keywords on this particular card, because it protects it in combat against anything, and it can kill anything as well, which is pretty thematic. So the Swarm Lord enters the battlefield with 3 1/1 green insect creature tokens as well. So the synergy with this and the bottom text as well basically means that when you cast it, it enters the battlefield and you create 3 1/1 green insect creature tokens, which are immediately 3/2s because of the buff that you get at the bottom. So that he comes in with 3 3/2s. And then when you cast this, obviously you get that whenever an insect enters the battlefield under your control, you get that return target insect or spider from your graveyard to your hand. So not only do you get an activation for Antaraxis, but you get an activation for the 3 insects that it brings in with it. So basically you're going to get 4 return to hand effects for your insects in the grave. So the deck archetype could possibly be, you know, self-mill, where you mill yourself, so you've always got stuff to bring back just to churn through your deck a little bit more. It's going to be tribal insects and spiders. So again, the reason why I added the buff and I wanted to sort of ramp up the power level of insects and spiders is because there's not much support for insects and spiders, unfortunately. I mean, we did have the Abzan commander come out recently, the Nightmare insect, but that's not really tribal focused. This is very much based on insect and spider tribal focused deck, and hopefully we might even see it on the channel, as long as my co-hosts approve that they'd be happy to face Antaraxis the Swarm Lord. I'd be happy to make a deck for it, because I used to have a Thriss Nantuku Primus insect tribal deck, but obviously that only limits it to green, and limiting it to mono green is quite difficult. There's not much card draw, not much interactions with mono green apart from your own board state. But yeah, black, red and green for Antaraxis the Swarm Lord could be quite a nice little deck to build, as long as they were happy for me to use this as the commander. And again, this is just a new series speaking about our design aspirations and what we would like to see. I haven't seen any good insect tribal creatures as a commander, and that is pretty much what I would love to see. A massive 4/4 death touch insect that enters with a swarm of creatures that then can recur your own insect swarm, so you get that sort of theme of just battling an unrelenting tide of Tyranids. Like that's what Tyranids do in Warhammer 40k. They're just swarms and swarms and swarms of things, and they keep coming back. You know, it's ridiculously hard to get rid of, and they're always attacking in a massive force as well, which is always linked into the whenever an insect or spider enters, return an insect or spider back to your hand from the grave. And the Anthem effect as well will just buff up and give more value to all of those little, like, deadly recluses, Kessig recluses, scoop mobs, all those little insects, caustic caterpillars, all those little insects will suddenly become a force to be reckoned with when the Swarm Lord is out on the field, and so rightly so as well. I think we need a swarm commander, and that's very much why I invested in the Symbiotic Swarm Abzan Commander 2020 product. I thought it was going to be something along these lines. I thought it was going to be insect tribal, but it turns out it's just keyword tribal, and that's not very interesting, really. You know, give us something like this, Wizards. Give us a massive support for insects and spiders. There isn't really much out there at the moment, and I know people will want and appreciate insects and spiders being upped in the commander world, because they're an awesome creature type. They're, you know, scuttering beasts, horrible grotesque things of nightmares, and people hate insects, and it makes their skin crawl when thinking about insects of huge nature and unrelenting force. But yeah, that's my ideas for Antaraxis the Swarm Lord. Again, if my co-hosts are happy for me to do so, I will build a deck around this and run it against you if you're willing to face the Swarm Lord. But yeah, very, very creature heavy deck, all about just getting out your insects and spiders, giving them a huge anthem effect, and just keep recurring your own creatures back so you can keep playing them, keep getting stuff back. Loads of interactions with this. Black, red and green as well is going to be very interactive, very combat heavy. You could have relentless assaults and stuff in here, and extra combat phases, all that sort of stuff, all that good stuff. But yeah, you could even Voltron him up, Antaraxis. I mean, he's quite a high CMC, so I think that's also quite balanced. But Double Strike Death Touch 4/4 comes in with an army, and you get loads of creatures back when you do cast it. I think it's pretty decent. So yeah, I'd love to see what your comments are. So please make sure you drop a comment in the section below as is this too OP? I don't think it is, because obviously insects and spiders don't really have much support, but is it OP? Let me know. If you have any other ideas, then let me know. If you have a commander or an idea for a commander about a deck you want to build, or you want to see a tribe get more support or a mechanic get more support, then create a commander and speak about it, and we'll release it as a video. I'm sure my co-host will be happy to create a commander that they want to see, or something, or ideas that they want to have portrayed. But it's just a new series. Create your own commander corner, and make sure you leave a comment in the section below as to whether this is any good, or whether it's too OP, or whether you have any more suggestions. But yeah, I just thought insect and spider tribal needs some support, so let's just put it out there and see what people think. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe and keep up to date. Click that little bell notification if you want to be notified. We're going to be doing more of these Create Your Own Commander Corner episodes, so make sure you tune in for what comes next. I'm looking forward to seeing what people come up with as well. So yeah, the possibilities are endless with a series like this. So yeah, make sure you tune in. See ya. Bye bye.